this definitely felt like a setup for a sequel, another one.
I'm sick of this. This is all the MCU does. When do we just have a story contained in the story?
It's time to stop, okay?
We are a sequel obsessed society, especially in this movie, because it took what was a really super serious movie and then completely turned it on its head and made it like dorky and dumb right at the end. Like, hello and welcome to the Brothers Random Show. My name is Travis.
I'm Michael.
And we are two ordinary brothers discussing extraordinary ideas and some random shit. Michael, why are we here?
Today we are discussing the film 28 Years Later.
7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today, 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them. There's no discharge in the war. Or eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war.
The third installment, we'll get into this a little bit. They kind of sideswiped 28 weeks later. For those who don't know, it was 28 days later, 28 weeks later, 28 years later, conveniently skipping 28 months.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
Not sure why they did that, but we're going to review it. We'll do some first thoughts, and then we will get into spoilers.
This is the IMDb summary. A group of survivors of the rage virus live on a small island. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors. This is directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. It stars Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Alfie Williams as Spike, who could be considered the lead. So what is your initial thoughts?
First off, I did not know whether I wanted to love or hate this film. Get ready for an artsy, I guess that's the right word, artsy performance. There were a lot of things they randomly threw in. There was like these clips of medieval film. Mm-hmm. I think an early English made medieval film that they were throwing in kind of randomly.
Yeah.
And I think I know why they were doing that. Some people were like, oh, this was completely out of the blue. I don't think it was completely out of the blue, because I think what they were trying to say was that 30 years into the zombie apocalypse, people had reverted back to almost like a medieval era. They were all using bows and arrows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were killing zombies with bows and arrows. There was a rite of passage for this young boy. It was all about like hunting stories, and it almost reminded me of Gaston gets up in Beauty and the Beast. Gaston kind of gets up, like, and it's all about the hunting, boisterous, boisterous like hunting thing. So there were just aspects that I felt like they were trying to throw out that was saying like, hey, we've reverted back to like a medieval time. But there were just these weird kind of clips that they threw in and stuff. It was very artsy. I actually was there for all that. We'll get into some of the stuff, but they take some of the story to some places that I just was just like, why in the world? Why would you do that? I just don't think that fits.
Yeah, there's some stuff at the end of this movie that are completely asinine, and I don't know why they did it. It soured the experience.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just say that it was just a dumb move on everybody's part. it's a setup to another sequel that I was like, yeah, we shouldn't be doing that. I get it. Like, people are looking to make money on these things. I guess for me, that would be what was the clincher for me, that kind of, I was kind of on board through most of the middle half of this movie. Didn't really like the end. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. I didn't like how they basically threw the father figure played by Aaron Taylor Johnson out of it for, I don't know, a third
portion of the.
Didn't really like that.
I'd like to get into that in spoilers, but
yeah,
I agree with you. They just kind of, they had a character and then he's not there for the rest of the film. It's
some of the shit that happens in this movie, I would expect from a new filmmaker. Danny Boyle has been making movies, and good movies, for a really long time. So is Alex Garland. Alex Garland did Ex Machina, which you and I both love. Danny Boyle did Slumdog Millionaire in 127 hours.
Film. Great film.
And he did Trainspotting. The guy knows how to make a movie. This one felt indulgent. This felt like some of his worst tendencies, like full frontal male nudity, and what else? Like,
understand, viewers, that when you go see this, you're gonna see a lot of dick. Let's just put it out.
And
there.
That may be your thing, but it's not my thing. So
it's like so. Well, let's preface that. Zombie dick.
Oh, behave. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That's going to be the tagline on this episode. Welcome to Zombie Dick.
Yeah. There was a lot of it, and they just kept showing it, and there was female zombies too, but you just didn't quite see them. Like, it wasn't enough of a backdrop or anything like that to really see anything. Obviously, for males, it's kind of flopping around. I don't know, dude. It was so pervasive. I was just like, guys, come on. Let's move on.
One thing that I would say that is good about this movie is the world building, because you kind of get the sense that things are just a little off. It made sense that after damn near 30 years later, if the zombies, and these are like a different kind of zombies, they don't actually look like they're like rotting or anything like that. They just are. They called it the rage virus in the first one. So the whole point that I'm trying to make is that the naked zombies, like, that makes sense because they've lost all humanity. So it would make sense that they're all naked and they don't have clothes on, and the clothes have rotted off after 30 years or whatever you want to call it. So that's something new that they brought to this that I've never seen before or thought about. Usually there's the clothes are kind of like falling off of the zombies. So it is kind of an interesting take on the whole thing, and leave it to these guys to kind of come up with a new thing, because they came up with the fast zombies. Okay. Before this, they were slow, and they would kind of pop up at like inconvenient times. So they're the original writer and director of the original one. It makes sense that they would try something new and to bring to the genre of the zombie movie. I don't know how well executed it was. Like you and I have spoken about before, this kind of goes in line with the original two, because I wasn't too much of a fan of the original one. I remember seeing it. I remember being entertained by it, but I remember ultimately really not liking the end. And that's kind of the same way I felt about the second one. And this one kind of fits into that vein. I was into it for most of it, and then until I wasn't. Should we get into spoilers?
Yeah, let's get right to it.
All right. Spoilers now. The beginning and the end, where they have the religious zealot, we've seen this yet before. I don't care about a religious zealot. I don't care about a religious zealot anymore. Do something different. I mean, and they set this up for a sequel, which the sequel's already being made, according to what I heard, by the director of the Marvels, of all people. I don't think I'll be seeing the sequel because the tacked on end to this movie put me off. I was like, that was so dumb. Basically what we're supposed to think is that a boy from the first half of the movie, when the zombie apocalypse happens, is an adult later in the movie. And the last 2 minutes of the movie, he shows up with a bunch of people in tracksuits and they do like a bunch of flips and stuff to the zombies. And I thought it was so dumb.
They were like Teletubbies.
Yeah, they were Teletubbies, but the whole.
Do you see like what they were doing there?
I do see what they were doing, but it was
he's
dumb.
Watching Teletubbies at the beginning. Obviously, this is spoilers. So he's watching Teletubbies at the beginning, and then at the end, it shows him, and he's got a troop of people, and they're all killing zombies like Teletubbies would if Teletubbies were killing zombies. So yes, it was stupid. But at the same time, I could kind of see what they were doing there. And it was weird and it was dumb.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere. So you think it's almost the end. You see the boy who's gone through this journey. He's become kind of a man. His mother's dead and his father is searching for him. So you think it's almost the end. The music is swelling, and all of a sudden this tacked on stupid ending where this Jimmy guy who's got a cross on from the beginning of the film, he's got a tracksuit on that's the color of the Teletubbies, and then they start flipping around and doing like kung fu on the zombies, and it was so out of left field. So stupid, fucking stupid. It put me right off of the movie. It really did. And then I started thinking about the movie all the way through, and I was like, I don't think this movie's for me. I was very, very disappointed.
Disappointed!
We did a trailer breakdown, audience, earlier in the year, last year, essentially. That trailer was so good.
Yeah.
So good. It's one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
The Rudyard Kipling poem that they used for the trailer is in the movie. I was not expecting to see the Rudyard Kipling poem in the film. Here's the thing. It almost seemed like they put it in the film just because
the trailer was popular.
Did so well.
And I
don't know. It seemed very forced in and thrown in and stuff. So I'm not exactly
the beginning
sure.
and the end seemed tacked on too. To me,
yeah.
It's almost like they seen the footage and they were so impressed with themselves. They were like, "Hey, this is going to be really good. We need to make another one." And then they were told the filmmakers, Danny Boyle said to Danny Boyle, "Hey, we're going to make another one without you directing. Please set it up. Like you need to set it up for another one." Mm-hmm. It's almost like, "Hey, let's tack on this dumb asinine kung fu tracksuit wearing dumbasses." And I just thought it was stupid. All in out, I just thought, what a stupid move.
Calm down.
I'm calm!
You don't see bright colors through the whole thing.
Yeah. And all of a sudden
all of a sudden bright colors. It's just, it was kind of, it was weird.
And now for something completely different.
I want to talk about the dad. The whole thing with the dad.
Now, the dad. They got rid of him.
I felt like the best parts of this film were when the dad and the son go out. They take at the beginning, they take the son out. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a rite of passage. You learn as they're going out that it is a rite of passage because the whole village is like cheering him on and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're all kind of behind it for the fact that this is his rite of passage. He's going outside of the village to go, quote unquote, hunt to get his first kill. zombie and stuff. So I thought I was there for all that. You get to where you're on the edge of your seat because they run out of arrows, like they get stuck.
It created all this tension, and while you're creating the tension, you're also building the world. This is where the world building comes in.
You're getting some character development. You know, this young boy, he's nervous. He's trying to, anyway. So that was really good. And the edge of your seat moment where the alpha is chasing him. Dude,
that was great.
That was good. That was some good, like I was on the edge of my seat.
Good filmmaking. Yeah.
Good,
and then
good filmmaking. Like that was good stuff. They make it.
When they put him out, when they take the dad out of the story, I think is when this movie kind of, and then Ralph Fiennes comes and he's a doctor and all of his scenes are great too, but he's not in it for very long.
Yeah.
So basically the two male scenes, like everything that's interesting about this movie are with the two male characters that are teaching the boy, helping the boy along. Like the stuff with the mother, although is like a journey and kind of propels the story forward, leads to nowhere.
Yeah.
Like he's the boy's trying to take his mother to a doctor to see if they can get whatever's wrong with her fixed. They learn that she's got cancer and that there's no fixing it, not with the limited resources that they have. And she dies, right? And it's like, well, what was the point to all of that? Was it just to help him grow as a character? Maybe that's what was the point. But I felt like there are a lot of things that had potential that led to nowhere. Did you feel that way? Like the whole.
Oh yeah.
So they never do a callback to the dad after he's pretty much sidelined,
done. He's not in the story anymore.
Yeah, he's not in the story anymore. They show him late, towards the end, but him just crying about his son being gone, that made no sense. The zombie baby, what was the point to that?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a very strange, it's a really intense scene because there's the zombie having a baby and the baby turns out that the baby doesn't have the virus, which is weird because I think babies that are born with AIDS or with people that have AIDS still contract AIDS.
Yeah. They had an explanation. Oh, the doctor says, oh, the miracle of the placenta, that the placenta, protected the baby from
they have
the
an
virus.
But see, I'm still trying to figure out what the point of the baby was because it doesn't bring anything really to the story because he drops the baby off to the community.
The only thing I can guess is that there's something set that up for a sequel. Like that there's something that's gonna be they're gonna take that story somewhere.
Baby somewhere with the story.
Possibly. I don't know, but this definitely felt like a setup for a sequel, another one.
I'm sick of this. This is all the MCU does. This is all that the DCU does. When do we just have a story contained in the story?
You know what really grinds my gears?
We're a sequel obsessed society.
Yeah.
We want more instead of less. Personally, I'm really getting sick of the whole thing. I'm getting sick of the setups for another sequel because especially in this movie, because it took what was a really super serious movie and then completely turned it on its head and made it dorky and dumb right at the end. The last 2 minutes of the movie, I was like, what? It literally caught me off. I went, is this a different fucking movie? What? They're flipping around. They're doing kung fu on the zombies. It's what the hell is going on?
Well, and do we know how well it's done? Because I was alone in the theater.
The critics love it. It's got a massive Rotten Tomatoes score. It's 98% Rotten Tomatoes score. Critics are loving it. Well, and partially the critics are loving it because Danny Boyle is super woke and he talks about how this is a representation of Brexit and all the bullshit that was going on in England a few years ago. It's natural that all the people that are woke, like the critics, are thinking that this is actually a pretty good movie. I think it was the ending that made me hate it, because up until the ending, at least I was kind of on board with the bleakness of it. I mean, it's not always bleak. There's some funny stories, like funny stuff in the middle. Danny Boyle has always had this kinetic editing style where it's really fast paced and kind of meant to, I don't know, elicit kind of an off-putting a feeling. And it makes sense that they would do this in this movie, but I don't know if it worked putting in the Rudyard Kipling poem in the places that he put it. I just didn't think it was appropriate. Like, because I don't know what he was trying to say with it. And it did have these undertones of like, the community is pretty good, but the community is also a socialist community, where they have places for everyone. This is where you have to go because this is what we need as a community. So you have the gatherers, you have the farmers, you have the scavengers, the teacher and stuff like that. And so you don't really get choices as to where you go. And maybe that's the point of the movie, maybe because he decides not to come back to the community and stay out in the wilderness, that he
chooses freedom or something.
Yeah.
It was so odd to me that they were making out the dad to be such a bad guy. It bugged the hell out of me. So he goes out, rite of passage, they go, and the thing is the dad is competent. He's out there, and he's hitting these zombies with headshots and heart. So basically, throughout the film, you see they're talking about with the bows and arrows, head and heart, always head and heart, right? Make sure that you're hitting head and heart. And he does, and he's good, and he's calm when shit is like about going down. He's keeping his shit together, right? So he's out there and he's good. And it just bugged the hell out of me that they come back to the community, and then he sees his father flirt with this other, or go out with this other girl and stuff. He's like falling from grace. And I'm like, okay, yes, he's falling from grace. He's with this other girl because his wife is.
Well, and he's lying about the things that happened. He's not telling the whole truth.
He's telling the story. He's not telling the whole truth. He's kind of saying that his boy did more than his boy actually did. You know, he's kind of embellishing the stories and a little bit and stuff like that.
Well, and then he slaps the kid later in the movie too.
Okay, so and then tells him watch his mouth, and then he doesn't, and then he slaps him. So this whole fall from grace, all the fall from grace stuff, I get it, but he is still a competent hunter out there with the zombies. See, this to me, I had a problem with this. And then because he's a mean dad, he runs away with his mom out there with the zombies. I was just like, you are so stupid. What an idiot. You only survived out there because your dad was competent and saved your ass. And now you go out there by yourself, like in a sense by yourself, because his mom is kind of mentally losing it. They make that his mom is mentally losing it. And it bugged the hell out of me. I was like, you are so dumb. So dumb.
No, you are so dumb. You are really dumb.
It didn't dawn on you that you would have died out there if you didn't have your dad saving your ass the whole time. Like, even though dad is so bad.
The dad was more understandable than almost any other character in the movie, because you understand that the kid wants to save his mother. But that's just about all that you understand about him. Like, why does he stay out there?
Yeah.
Like after bringing back the baby to the community, why does he stay out there? Like it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like it's not like he's become, I guess he's kind of become competent himself.
He gets better for sure
He
at
gets
like
better.
killing the zombies.
It is frustrating that that they decided to give the dad all these problematic, like he hits the kid. That's obviously a big no-no. You don't want to be that kind of father. He's floundering on the mother. You don't want, that's problematic. You don't want that of your heroes. So they're basically, and this is the thing about Hollywood that really irritates me. You cannot have heroes. You can't have a competent, good man. If he's competent, he's got to have all these other flaws. If if he's not competent, he's actually good to everybody around him. Like why can't we have the male character, the alpha male character, be competent and good? Like why is that a thing? Is it because everybody who's involved in making these movies are all beta males? They all have issues with their fathers. They all have I don't really get this need to make the heroes of the story kind of bastards, essentially.
You mentioned like how they have people come and then go and they're like not in it anymore. This was the
Eric.
dad.
Like what happened with Eric? Like why have that character in this movie?
Random character shows up.
But what he does do is he brings levity to the movie. Like he's the comical relief, right?
Yeah.
So he shows up. So I think what they were trying to do is show that England has been cut off completely, and that
the rest of the world
is gone.
They've
on.
gone on with their lives.
Yeah.
Like he has a cell phone.
Like this kid has a cell phone. It brings
you out, and you're just like,
what?
You're like,
why does he have a cell phone?
Wait a minute, he's got a cell phone. So it lets you know that outside of
pretty much England.
Yeah, England.
Which doesn't make any sense because at the end of the second one, it was spreading. Like the whole point of the end of the second one is that the virus had spread to France.
Yeah, and so that's why there's some talk about how they're basically these guys have said that the second one isn't canon anymore. Basically,
yeah, isn't
like the second 28 weeks later,
which is something that is another thing that you and I have talked about before. Is something that irritates both of us. It's like have somebody with a fucking vision when you have a franchise, because when you bring in other people and they just go, oh, I didn't like that film, so I'm not going to acknowledge that film at all. And they've done this. They're doing this with Star Wars. Now they're doing this with this. We're also doing it with the Predator series. I don't get why this keeps happening, but it takes a lot of hubris, right? It takes a lot of hubris for somebody to go, I don't really like that one, so my version of this is just not going to acknowledge that one.
Doesn't include it at all.
Whereas we as consumers and audiences go, well, wait a second, I watched that one. I didn't hate that one. I thought it was okay, or whatever. And then you're going, but I remember the last shot. It's got a great musical cue, and the last shot is these people running towards the Paris, France Eiffel Tower, the rage virus people. And that's the end. But it's like, well, can we get some continuity here, guys? Can we not have so much hubris about ourselves that we go, oh, well, I'm so important that I'm just saying that movie doesn't exist. It's like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
And the truth is I like Danny Boyle's movies. I thought 127 Hours was an amazing film. I thought in surprisingly religious film. I thought Slumdog Millionaire was an amazing film. So a lot of things about this movie put me off. First of all, the dad, the whole dad stuff with him being this alpha that is actually not good, not morally right. Then there's the religious aspects of the beginning of the religious zealot who's just welcoming this, we've seen that before, and it's irritating to me now. I didn't like this movie. I think essentially that's what I'm trying to say is I really didn't care for this movie.
I thought it was okay. There were a lot of moments I really liked. all the stuff that I hated, I kind of was just like, let's just say I didn't super love the first one.
Yeah.
So I kind of went into this. I kind of knew that I wasn't going to probably super love this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is. I was entertained.
Are you not entertained?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, guys. And then the baby not having the virus. It just
it stretches your belief way too much.
The other thing though is like it didn't really go anywhere. There's a baby. Cool. And then like
nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
That's he
takes the baby back to the village. What is that it? I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess that could be a setup part for the next film, which it seems like they're gonna do more. But if it does well.
Thanks for joining us, audience. Check us out on social media, all the relevant Instagram, X, all that kind of stuff. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just look for The Sword in the Skull.
If you liked this, you are the subscriber we are looking for.
Until next time, keep reading, keep listening, keep watching, learn more. We'll see you, brother.
See ya.
There you go, son. Now get out of here. You bother me.